energy on the main stage. It's Europe versus North America, baby. The casters, they're not versus each other, they're actually brothers. But on set, Bravo, exciting matchup, and I'm expecting big things from both these teams.
Same. Like, I got to say, this is a series that we were really looking forward to getting into when we got what the matches are going to be for this tournament, especially on day number one, because it's kind of a story of two different teams with a similar kind of objective. Two teams who are just trying to break through a ceiling at the moment. For Luminon, it's always been about making it to Sunday, getting past the top 6 this season. And for FaZe, it's been about getting to the grand final. So very similar story for different teams with slightly different objectives.
Yeah, exactly. Similar stories, different ceilings, I would agree indeed. Stronghold Lattice going to be your game number one, starting things off with the new hotness, and Luminon, of course, going to look at that as maybe an opportunity to get an early edge. Thereafter, we'll go back to some tried and true game types: Live Fire, Slayer, CTF Forbidden if we need them, Neutral Bomb Aquarius, and Slayer Solitude. But I tell you what, that game number one, Strongholds Lattice, definitely an opportunity for Luminon.
Yeah, just looking at the pace of this series in general, very quick. You're looking at the first 3 game types, some of the quickest ones that we do have. And for Luminon, we have to kind of caveat this series with what's happened so far, because we casted over them against Cloud9 a little bit ago on the B stream, and it looked a bit rusty. We have to say they haven't had the greatest of practice coming into this event. Not a huge amount of scrims due to the playable teams that are over in Europe at the moment, plus no boot camp this time around. Of course, like Tony said on the desk, that's going to change from now to Worlds, but some of the rush started to get off a little bit, kind of pushed to the side towards the end of that series, but ultimately they lost 3-1 to Cloud9, so this now becomes a almost must-win for them against a team which historically has been the bogey team for them.
That's right, and Luminon will be aware of FaZe's recent performances as well. As you see, FaZe Clan versus Luminon going to be your game number one here in Pool C, and we are underway off your opening break and kills being exchanged. And one thing I want to talk about that Luminon will be aware of is, speaking of rust, FaZe has had some questionable results online as well. Let's not forget going to Game 5 against Akabe Esports. They also just lost to TSM just about a week ago and tightly fought 3-2. So, as I mentioned before the tournament, I don't think FaZe is worried about that, nor do I think that they should be worried about it. But if you're on the side of Luminon, you're maybe hoping you can find some cracks in the armor.
Well, early on here, AB control is going to belong to FaZe. 2 dead on the side of Luminon. So the scoring will be going to the team in red. Of course, playing in front of their home crowd here at the FaZe Major, which might be a little boost for them as well to have the fans behind them. SnakeBite is going to be on our screens for the first time on our main stage. Sniper rifle in his hands, it's time to go to work.
The story of FaZe this year, right, has been that initially, post-team change, they won this initial trade that we talked about, 3 dead, by the way, for Luminon, as they will start to flip B. A off the spawn going to be flipped as well for the other side, but it will be a momentary BC hold coming in for FaZe. But since the trade, they undoubtedly have won the trade versus SSG. They have the better results so far, but now's the question of what can they unlock after this, right? Where do they go next? How do they find those grand finals? Ideally as early as here, right? They don't want to wait till Worlds to be in a grand final.
WuTum's got that sniper rifle in his hands, trying to find a connection onto Peg. We couldn't initially. Lucid gets a little bit fortunate as well that WuTum can't hit the flick. But his teammate, once again, is going to be in a position to clean that kill up. 2v2 on the map at the moment. It was Luminon who will be scoring, but the test on those strongholds is happening here for FaZe. Important 1v1 here, and WuTum is going to win it, and he's going to catch a C because of it.
Very good nade there as well. We'll get the body shot. That one should be cleaned up by several teammates who are nearby. Going to be 2 dead for FaZe, and narrow lead here for Luminon.
Oh, nice little body shot as well. Second one onto TriPPPeY, who is last alive, so no shields on TriPPPeY, and he'll go down to Snipedrone. So all of a sudden, Luminon just starting to pick the pace up a little bit here. A is going to be flipped by them, even though FaZe are spawning over by B. And we're seeing their control. We continue scoring here for the EU boys.
It's really just like Tony talked about. You do want to keep this game type mixy. The best teams in the world. I was just talking to Bestman actually about their performance, and he said they think they're the #1 at this game type. I would agree, but you're starting to see kind of signs of similar play. 3 dead again for FaZe. Luminon's playing this game type fast, and if you have a player like WuTum flying across and hitting every body shot from mid-map, you're going to get trip caps. Look at Luminon early on in game number 1 with a 54-19 lead off of the trip.
Really, really strong start. And something we discussed a little bit when we were watching them earlier on the B stream is think about Live Fire Strongholds. Think about one of the players who was on that team that went on that incredible record, and that's SLG. He is so good at getting his head around new game types, really puts that work in, and you can see it on your screens right now. FaZe on the back foot, really struggling to find any kind of foothold.
They really are here. They are going to fall 2 dead, though, so Snipedrone needs to play his life if he can. It's a momentary 2v2, so those kills will be picked up, and now they can continue scoring.
Importantly, the reset as well onto that stronghold, which will continue the scoring in the favor to Luminon. They're still contesting in and around this B stronghold as well, and damage being done by WuTum will be cleaned up by SLG, and that'll be another momentary, and it will be momentary triple cap. Glory's going to fly in and get the reset on A as well. Luminon are starting to flow here, and the rush we were talking about in the series against Cloud9, looks a bit like they're starting to shed that.
Yeah, huge reset there. It will be 3 dead for Luminon, so they need to be careful because they are losing all 3 at once. WuTum's going to try to desperately stop that. He will at least hold B. They will lose AC here in the rotation.
And you can see how quickly this game type can get out of hand. Such a small map, so easy to transfer from stronghold to stronghold, contest, and win them back. And even though they lost a little bit of control for a few seconds there, they got the kills off the respawn, and Luminon will have the numbers on the map momentarily.
SnakeBite and Snipedrone keep one another weak. We'll see which one gets cleaned up in the end. SnakeBite gets cleaned up with help. So Luminon will once again have the man advantage. For just a brief second, they will flip C. They're scoring it again.
Snipedrone last alive though. Interesting to see if he plays for these kills, or instead he's going to listen to the comms of his teammates, find himself a sniper rifle. Hit a couple of shots here, and a stronghold should go your way. Good morning to you, Snipedrone. It's good to see you, buddy.
One of the most talked about players in Europe for a long time, for good reason. What a shot there. Not easy to do against a player like Lucid. 2v2 on the map.
Important fight in and around C here. Gets the reset. Snipedrone also gets the body shot onto SnakeBite. Now he's going to reach out and hit the headshot. Almost hits the second. Lucid should be cleaned up though, and Luminon keep controlling ice and this circle side of the map at the moment, just rotating between A and C to try and keep this scoring going. 137 to 48. Finally, FaZe will get a momentary second to breathe here.
Back and forth here over the last few minutes of play, and it was a big lead for Luminon, but as you said, FaZe is right back in this game, and they've made sure to stop the bleeding. However, there's still a long way to climb to get back in the lead.
Snipedrone still with a couple of bullets, and he's got that thrust as well, so fires one of the bullets, only one left in the chamber for FaZe to put to use, but they're picking up kills elsewhere. QT in the hands of TriPPPeY, and also the opportunity to challenge Glory, stop this stronghold conversion, and keep the triple cap going the way of FaZe. However, Luminon do manage to double up there, and they do at least turn A back in their favor.
Nice conservative play there from TriPPPeY. He probably could have finished the kill on Glory, but instead he QTs and just makes a patient play. I like what I'm seeing there from Trip. And it feels like if you're on the side of Luminon, you need to get back in control of this game, because the more time you give FaZe, the more likely it is they'll get right back in it. But it is 3 dead. Pznguin is your last player alive.
Perfect shots coming in from Snipedrone, who is a player historically who has always raised his game against the bigger teams in the Halo Championship Series. You're seeing it in this game here. 14 and 8 for the Englishman.
Good damage from WuTum on SnakeBite. SnakeBite's forced to bottom middle there. We'll see if that one gets cleaned up. TriPPPeY's going to make it a little bit easier for the team to push out. Eventually, one of the kills will come, but not before it's a 3v1. SLG, last player alive, as the lead starts to get narrowed.
FaZe starting to just warm up a little bit here. Dangerous moments for Luminon. SLG just being patient, extra bullet in to secure that beat down, and then
I like that.
Flummox's SnakeBite stays alive and gets his shields back.
I like the route he took there. A little unpredictable to sit over the doorway. You could tell it was kind of harder to check that angle. In the end, though, the more important piece of this puzzle, as Luminon gets AB back, is what was just a 100-point lead is now only a 40-point lead.
And SLG still alive. Flying, sliding. No better place to do it than on the ice. And with AB in their hands, he's thinking triple cap. Luminon really starting to ramp up the pressure again now.
Impressed from Luminon, right? It felt like, as we just said, they forfeited about 50 points of their lead. However, they do not let it affect their mentals. They're right back in it. And even though B is slipping away, they will continue scoring at AC and maintain now a 70-point lead.
Sniper rifle is up. FaZe have got to commit to a stronghold at the moment. They can't think about the power weapon. And they can't think about stopping this man anytime soon. Finally, they shut him down. A Snipedrone does turn his attention to the power weapon. 2 dead on the side of Luminon. FaZe need to make the most of this.
Yeah, let's see how he plays it. This is a big moment in the game, without a doubt. He's probably going to have to play this snipe. He does. Makes the safe, conservative play once again. And now going to try to fight this 1v1. Very well done to get the trade, however, it's 3 dead. SLG, last player alive. He makes sure to trade 1v1 for a second here.
Yeah, important to keep control of B. WuTum versus SnakeBite. SnakeBite, great shots! Coming in from PJ in that situation. As Lucid will come to join him now, putting some pressure on the B. We might be seeing the first triple cap here from FaZe. As Luminon now trapped in and around blue.
Oh, they picked quite a time to do it here in the late game as well. As you say, A, B, C holds, 4 dead. TriPPPeY is the last player alive, but WuTum takes him down, so it will be 4 dead. First player is up. We'll see if Luminon can flip. It looks like they will go for the trip as well.
Snipedrone going to get the cap, but Lucid getting a really creative angle there to flush him out as quickly as possible. B being worked upon by both teams at the moment, but FaZe has stepped inside of it. Glory just hunting kills at the moment. Cannot find anyone because they're all dead. FaZe are 3 dead once again. Lucid was last alive momentarily, and B will be flipped and Luminon will continue scoring.
A lot of shots happening, but Lucid's still alive on the map somehow. They're going to try to push here. It's going to be an AB hold against the C hold. And 194 on the board for Luminon.
Really important shots there from SnakeBite. Had to be perfect and were perfect. A little star in the kill feed will tell you that every day of the week. A and B get reset by Luminon. They will continue to score, and now they cross 200 points. FaZe need to make something happen, and with 4 dead, it's looking like another triple cap here for the European boys.
Wow, once again, what looked like it was going to be a big comeback from FaZe has been shut down yet again. It's another triple cap from Luminon, as they will pick up that last kill. Finally, all 4 players up. Sniper up as well.
Could be a case of next team fight wins it here for Luminon. Pznguin really struggling in this game, number 1 at the moment. 9 and 19 for Zane. But FaZe do get control of Stronghold. Snipedrone to find some kills though. FaZe 2 dead. Luminon should be able to flip B here.
Amazing baiting and switching coming in. Take a look at the kills as well. Let's not forget, TriPPPeY and Lucid are positive and in the 20s. Yet look at the scoreline. 233 to 142, only 15 points to go for Luminon.
With how quick this game type moves and how closely these strongholds are in proximity to each other, so easy just to have a good 30 seconds, and FaZe can completely turn this game on its head. 2 dead on the side of Luminon. A being flipped now by FaZe, and the power weapons have gone to FaZe as well. There's a sniper on the map, and it's in the hands of SnakeBite.
I'll tell you what, if you wanted a dramatic setup to game number 1, this is exactly what you want. It's backs against the wall for FaZe Clan. Oh, but when SnakeBite starts to heat up, we could see a different story here. They will get that kill, but there is no room for error on the side of FaZe Clan. 6 points to go for Luminon, and a huge road to go yet for FaZe.
Lucid spotted out these spawns. Glory misses his shot. And with 2 shields broken, he's gonna challenge, but Glory hits the body shot. A and B still being held onto by FaZe, but it is wafer thin, this hold.
It's a team name, by the way, on Lucid. Glory's sitting on window. There's no way he gets that angle.
Pressure onto B, 3 dead for FaZe. And with B being flipped, Glory's gonna put some pressure onto A as well. And even though FaZe get the reset, now Glory's gonna have to hold off FaZe almost single-handedly. ANC in their control, but is the help arriving to close this one out? TriPPPeY steps in at the very last second.
Big finish there. The repulse doesn't even get as much damage as they wanted. Does A convert all the way? It does. But now 4 dead. That will be it. No time here as Luminon will flip.
A, C, and B all going to be worked on and held by Luminon Gaming in the final moments. 250 to 117 line. Luminon have turned up here in Charlotte. And after that first series we watched a little bit earlier, that's a bit more like we expected from them.
When you look at the variables, like we said, in that game number 1, FaZe's recent performances online, the speed at which Luminon can play, and a lattice game type, there was a lot of chips in favor of that being a potential upset, and it was more than that. Luminon wins it 250 to 179 comfortably off of very convincing trip caps.
Looking at the stats here, you can see, like we mentioned, statistically, 12 and 23 doesn't sound great, but Pznguin's still involved in a huge amount of damage on the map. 17 assists being cleaned up by his teammates. But if you look at the comparative player on the other side, SLG goes -4, and he puts up 16 assists. So a little bit of a difference there in just having a player alive a little bit longer on the map.
Look how close the slays
really does
were.
help.
It really does. Look how close the slays were. You have Lucid, by the way, popping off 26 and 18. But look at everyone here on the side of Luminon, right? +1, +2, even, -4. This was not an outslaying match. This was an outplaying, objective efficiency, out-rotating Luminon Gaming. Like I said, these new game types provide ample and sweet, sweet opportunities for underdogs to take out some of the big 3. That's what we just saw in game number 1. We'll take a look at some of the highlights.
I'm going to talk about it again, because SLG, I genuinely think one of his favorite things in Halo is when something new arrives and he can sit down and he can theory craft about how he believes this game type is going to play out. We'll play it a couple of times, we'll see what's going right, what's going wrong, and he's very good to just quickly kind of scope out what the most efficient way to play it is. I'll use that live fire Strongholds example from right back at the start of Halo Infinite as a great kind of marker in the sand as to why that, why we would believe that. And I feel like Lattice is going to be a strong game type for them. It was the one in the series against Cloud9 that they took as well. And now as we move towards the Slayer after these highlights, FaZe have got to find something here. Because it looks like Luminon are here to play.
It also really lends itself to their style of play, right? When you think of a player like WuTum, like SLG, to be honest, the entire squad, when you think of them flying across a map, you know their play style, the way they want to play the game. It really is right in their wheelhouse in terms of gameplay, and it really showed, like I said, not impressive numbers from anyone on the team. Just putting up, doing the work they needed to do. It was all about out-rotating, timing, getting the first pick, getting cross-map damage, making sure that they're collapsing. 250 to 179, it's a convincing win on Stronghold's Lattice, and just like that, FaZe find themselves down 1-0.
So we move on to Slayer as our next game type. Live fire is going to be the battleground for it. By the way, shout out to the production team in the back, Loose Films, putting together the model live fire. That was awesome. I wonder if I can take that home.
Also, shout out to the HCS social team with the "Is this a live fire for ants?"
That was awesome.
Reference. Great tweet.
But for FaZe, this is a very, very important game now because, like we mentioned, this is a Luminon team who lost 3-1 to Cloud9. If you lose this series, I don't mean it's a long way to go. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. But if FaZe struggle win this series and then think we've got Cloud9 to play against, who just beat these guys 3-1, and it was a pretty convincing 3-1 at times, that's a little bit of a concern. That's something that really does kind of raise a few eyebrows for a team that we've been talking about going into this event as trying to break into a grand final and look to go on and win a championship. Yeah,
it's interesting. I think for me, I agree. If we see FaZe now win the next three in any way, fashion, I have zero questions about FaZe. I think Lattice is a new game type. Luminon is a very talented team. If we see instead some mixy results, games that are too close, or even some additional game wins for Luminon, then I'm starting to ask some questions about FaZe. We'll have to see what this is. I think it's, once again, a tournament for FaZe where they have so much, the ceiling, of course, is so high for them. And I think they know it. And it's a question of what tone do they set? What do they accomplish here? And how do they set the right tone going into Worlds? Because look at the pedigree of the players on FaZe. Look at what they've accomplished. Look at the trophies they've hoisted. They have one mission at Worlds. Now, don't get it twisted. I think everyone's talking about Shopify and Optic, and for good reason. But FaZe Clan quietly lurking in the background. They would love nothing more than to end this year with a surprise upset World Championship win, and they are certainly capable of it. But that road starts here, and they find themselves down 1-0.
That sniper rifle you can see on your screen is going to be so, so important on this map, as well, of course, as that camouflage. We've talked about the camo and how the extended period of time that it's now active on the map has really changed how people have been playing with it as well. Just making sure that they're making the most of every life that they have with it, not overcommitting, making sure that you get the full 45 seconds of camo. And if you can control both, you're going to put yourself in a very, very good spot. This really feels like an important game.
It really does.
It's a really big game.
I was going to say the same exact thing. They're underway here in game number 2. If you're just joining us, that's right. Luminon Gaming up 1-0 over FaZe Clan off of a very, very strong Lattice King of the Hill win. Excuse me, Lattice Stronghold to win to take the series lead 1-0.
Well, off the break, it's going to be a slender lead here for Luminon Gaming. And more importantly than that, I think, is that Glory's got away with a sniper rifle. And I feel like you're looking at a player contributing in a big way in a big series. Glory's been fantastic in some of the bracket runs, but the big matches, the big games, maybe been a little bit guilty of being coming up a little bit short in those big moments. Camo will go over to Luminon. They have a 1-kill advantage, but that should extend if Snipedrone can play this well.
I was going to say, Snipedrone surely grabs his repulse. He does. He goes back for the repulse. I was like, there's no way he leaves 3 of those with camo on the ground. He goes back for the repulse, now tied 6-6.
Got to wait for a little bit of help from teammates here, Snipedrone. You can see just, like we were talking about, making the most of this camo. Every single second that you can stay alive could be a difference maker. Pznguin will escape here. Lucid's going to reach out with that commando. WuTum's there to try and clean up some of this damage, and he does exactly that. Gets 2, and with 3 dead, FaZe Clan find out that Snipedrone isn't missing many shots.
It didn't look like it was going to be easy, but excellent baiting and switching. It's an eventual 4 dead. They only lead by 2 here, but they maintain a little bit extra camo. Finally, it will dissipate, but that was not easily navigated in cuts and top mid. That could easily have been completely blown. Instead, they do manage the right baiting and switches to at least get the upside in the end of the trade. They lead 10-8.
Snipedrone going to peek bottom middle here. Felt a little bit uncomfortable for him, and now he's going to back out. Lucid going to look to take the 1v1 at the back of green. FaZe a little bit split on the map at the moment. but an important death grenade there just keeps those numbers even on the side of FaZe as SLG. I think that's his second perfect of the game. Norman looks locked.
Wow, perfect reversal as well. Also has the QT to get out of dodge if he needs, but the help comes. I'm so impressed by Luminon's speed of the team shot and speed of the help. Constant baiting and switching and specifically watching pretty difficult to watch sidelines over these opening engagements. Now up 15-11.
Attention turns towards Camo once again. SnakeBite gets away with barely any shields, and finally he'll be taken down. SLG is out of there. He wants to pop this Camo and he wants to make the most of it. That's 2 in a row here for Luminon.
Some might have said a risky pop there because he already took so much nade damage. Could have maybe made sure a teammate got it, but instead he comes away with it. Needs to stay alive here.
He's tiptoeing. He's holding on to that back railing. It's a scary, precarious position to find yourself, but this man knows how to do things very, very well and very, very efficiently. He finds one, another one gets picked up, and all of a sudden it's 19-14 with the S7 pop in and an SLG with his hands on the snipe.
Wow, and this has gotten dicey and dangerous for FaZe Clan. Now down by 5 in a game 2 where they already trail in the series 1-0. They know what's on the line here, and they slow the game down for this Camo. That is the definition of checking your corner.
That is checking your corners. That is a 360 vision cone being used perfectly by SLG, not giving anything away. You can't really blame Pznguin for the play. He's not done anything wrong. He's trying to slow the game down, get information, and unfortunately SLG just lies to it.
Hits the body as well. That'll buy an extra second where FaZe cannot push. 2 players bottom middle, though. He's going to call that out.
Really like the pre-nade as well there from SLG. Doesn't re-poke without pushing those 2 players back with a nade. Making sure that his escape is going to be locked in. Lucid going to be challenging. 2 players from FaZe actually just aggressively flanking on his position at the moment. And the timing of that push put together from FaZe, really, really impressive.
Pznguin wants to hold tower. He knows it's a little bit risky to try to over-challenge here in these moments. So just trying to hold down map position, trying to get really a foothold back in this game.
Numbers though, going to Luminon again. Pznguin, no shields once more. She's trying to survive, trying to weave and nod and just be a nuisance, and somehow he's doing exactly that. Still alive in this situation, finds himself a snipe, helps TriPPPeY out, and Pznguin now starting to heat up a little bit.
Snipedrone needs to get this kill. He does. It's a big one to make sure the snipe gets slowed down just a second. And now just like that, only a 3-kill lead for Luminon.
Now this is where we need to see Luminon take a little bit of a page out of what we just saw from FaZe. Couple of kills, getting staggered, couple of deaths starting to rack up. This is what has been costing them in some of those big matches. Not being able to just get 4 on the map when you're under pressure. But now they're starting to do that.
Wow, so well done here as they regain the lead by 6. Let's get into a listen-in with Luminon Gaming.
Yeah.
So we're up to B.
Yeah, ready to time it, okay? I'm gonna activate it soon.
Okay. Wanna play B?
Yeah, I'm gonna B.
I'm watching left side right now. I'm getting
I'm activating now.
2 top mid, 2 top mid.
They won't see, they won't see.
I got one.
Nice, nice, nice.
2 right
Oh,
plat.
2A plat. Got damage.
Yeah, big door. I'll do it.
Pin
Pin as well. Pin as well.
First one.
Absolutely. Go, big pillars, nice.
Did you keep back B? Did you keep back B?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
I'm going back to C,
He's
I'm
dead.
going back to C.
Yeah, come back.
A plat top mid. One's top mid right now, guys.
I'm going
I'm looking C, I'm looking C.
Yeah, I'm coming back next.
Yeah,
You're on B.
pick with me.
I'm with you.
It's 2, and the left front, car. Kill me, I die from A plat.
One A plat, A plat.
I die from A plat. We're losing C, guys, we're losing C.
Mid tower.
Yes, A plat, 2 top in. Top in now, pushing C. I spoon A. Oh, it's free kill.
I hear you guys, I hear you.
No.
One shot, 2 C on me, one shot, elbow, nice.
Put that, top mid in the back.
I'm blocking A for snipe.
Traded.
Nice, do that.
Get snipe, I'm blocking A. Go back to C.
We have numbers. Hey, on me.
Yo, A snipe.
It's 1 shot, bottom mid.
I hear bottom mid, I'm motion kilo.
Yes, sniper.
We 2 that.
Where is he?
You went dice. Top
Okay,
middle
okay.
dice. A dummy door.
I can play dummy door.
Cuts it
Yeah,
down.
the window weak.
Cuts in, top cuts. Go top cuts. Top cuts should be weak, guys.
Yeah, take it out.
You're long cut. One
say
A
top
plat,
cuts.
A plat kill me.
I got one.
A plat is shopping scope.
Yeah, another one cuts. Cuts
Sniping
to the base.
The middle, yeah.
You're last, Mike. He's Gator.
Very interesting listening there for Luminon. A lot to talk about, but most importantly, still have that lead. It's only 4. FaZe is starting to come back into this one as Pznguin has a snipe.
Yeah, we'll stick with the action for now. As you say, lots to break down, but right now, even more importantly, it's still just a 4-kill game. Make it 3, 37-34.
Late game run here from FaZe. A little bit of pressure on the shoulders of this man. 4 and 8 in this game, but has that snipe and can turn those stats one way with a couple of big shots here. WuTum's going to challenge. as Luminon find themselves 2 dead and just 2 kills make it 1 back to 2 in a lead here.
What was just an 8+ kill lead for the side of Luminon has been reduced to only 3, and it feels like really even bigger. The momentum has just been sucked out of Luminon. FaZe is right back in this, and it feels like even though they trail by 3, they've got the momentum on their side without a doubt.
Still bullets to work with here. Camo popping. 2 dead for Luminon though. It's gonna make it very difficult to contest this camo. SLG's gonna challenge. The flank from Snipedrone though catches them off guard. Snipedrone gets a double out of nowhere. TriPPPeY has to run, has to scarple with this camo. SLG taken down, 3 dead for Luminon.
Huge play from TriPPPeY to get the camo and get the kill. Gonna go ahead and bring it back to the team, and they toss Snipe, 3 shots as well on the sniper handoff.
Hit all 3, you're in the lead. Misses 1, gets challenged. Snipedrone can't get the kill, Glory gets 1 though. 2 dead on the side of Luminon. Still a 1 kill game, making a tie game here. TriPPPeY with a snipe and the camo, making the difference.
WuTum was last player alive. TriPPPeY's gonna hunt him. Lead change in the late game. FaZe Clan goes up by 1, make it 2.
SLG gets taken down as well. FaZe rise from the ashes in the late game here in game number 2. 49 on the board, 1 to go here for FaZe to complete the comeback. Glory gets the kill, but it's not gonna be enough. FaZe ice up, clutch up, and will take map number 2, 50-47.
Oh my word. A come from behind win after trailing by 8 or more kills in the 3rd act. Coming back to, steal that out from Luminon. You heard during listening, such a comfortable lead. They're delaying camo holds. They have full control of the map and snipe. And out of nowhere, what should be a 2-0 Luminon lead is completely stolen by FaZe Clan. What a comeback from them, and I think there was so much riding on that game in this series, and maybe even the tournament lives of both these teams in that game number 2. What a game.
I think you can pinpoint a moment where it changed. Luminon have camo, SOG delays the pop, everything's going right. They get a 2 dead, and then they get caught obsessing about that sniper rifle top mid. 2 players top middle, somehow TriPPPeY. I think it was TriPPPeY who was in the vent. Not only gets a couple of kills, but stays alive, makes it dicey, and then where does that sniper transfer over to? It goes to the side of FaZe. Luminon flustered by that. It's a mistake. They lose the camo player. They lose the snipe that's coming up. They lose numbers. And those kind of things, when they happen one after another, the mentality goes from winning the game to what just happened?
And it has to. I'm so happy we get to look at highlights here because this was neck and neck, as you can see, just based on the scoreboard, all the way through until your mid-game. Luminon still leading here, 18-14, sizable lead, honestly, at the mid-game. This gets blown wide open, just hits the easy no-scope. And this is where the game starts to actually get even further, right? The deficit becomes, and the lead, more importantly, 33-25 at this stage. Make it 34, as we said, over an 8-kill lead. And this should have been Luminon's game. And really, they let it fall apart.
Let's see if we can catch that moment that was top middle. This is Pznguin with that sniper rifle we were talking about. It was just before this that the wheels fell off for Luminon
as well.
But TriPPPeY hitting these perfect shots here, staying alive in that situation. And also this Snipedrone tries to challenge the camo. TriPPPeY stays alive, hits the body. Just all these things stacking up. You can just see, it's the momentum, it's the domino effect.
Yep. Wow. In the end, we'll take a look at your series layout so far. 50-47, Luminon going to be absolutely kicking themselves, maybe the entire continent, to be honest, kicking themselves after what should be a surprise 2-0 lead is instead a 1-1 game. And I'm not kidding, there was no dramatics, no exaggeration. I feel like that game 2 could actually tell us a lot about the tournament success of these two teams. If that game 2 goes another way, it's just a different story completely. However, if FaZe is able to close this one out, like we said earlier, comfortably from here, this will be not even a footnote. It will be a series that's probably not even remembered from pool play. So FaZe finding the late game strength and composure they needed to get right back in this, and maybe have given FaZe fans a chance to just take a breath, realize, okay, a lot of Halo still to play. They've dodged what would be a 2-0 deficit. We're all tied up at 1-1, heading into game number 3.
I feel like it's such a strange series psychologically at the moment. Like, I think FaZe probably just feel like they've got away with one in that game number 2. They feel like they won the game. It was like, oh, it's 1-1. Like, we've got away with this. Luminon are going to be kicking themselves, so I don't think either team is particularly happy
Right.
with how that
Yeah,
last
they're
game of
both
the
on the
series
mix.
is going so far. But it's tied up at 1-1, and this is
Exactly.
the go-ahead game.
Exactly. They're tied up to 1-1.
Such a strange headspace.
It is. Playing professional Halo for a lot of money on a main stage, but neither of them are happy with how it's gone so far. And it just shows you what both teams are capable of and what they're here to do, right? Both looking for perfection. Neither of them have found it just yet. Instead, they've traded games here, and we're all tied up, and we're underway now in your third game. Jumping right into the action here with Lucid.
A little bit of CTF here on Forbidden. WuTum with the sniper rifle pickup on the side of Luminon. He's hitting some shots already. Lucid trying to get there eventually, but he's under a lot of pressure at the moment. I didn't even see
How does
SLG.
WuTum have 2 kills, right?
I don't know, but how strong are Lucid's glasses? Because I couldn't even see that guy.
Very strong, actually. Man's got a great eagle eye. Here comes now Glory with the overshield as well. Checking every single corner, even the ones that you probably don't need to check. Just love the thoroughness here from the Irishman.
Clear. Clear. Lucid now going to find himself taken down. Penguin's going to miss that jump. It's a double kill. And still half the overshield to work with here. He can try and force this run. And I like this as well.
Yes,
I think he had the info of where SnakeBite was on the overextend. So runs it away from potential spawners on that snipe site. But now it's about the kills. Now it's about finding the extra ones. And with 2 dead here for FaZe. And WuTum still popping off with this sniper rifle. Glory should be able to run this one home.
It's a great play call from Luminon and from Glory. Let's not forget, Penguin was down in Swamp. Penguin doesn't even get any damage on the overshield player. So SnakeBite wraps back pillars, tries to get a pillar angle, and Glory wants nothing to do with it. By the way, by the time Glory gets back to his own pillars, he still had overshield. And then, as you say, the team is still slaying around him. It's a very, very efficient cap from Luminon. Now, let's see. We've seen them in the lead in every game in this series. Can they close this one out?
2 dead at the moment on either side of the map.
Hey, now.
WuTum is hitting shots. He's 4-0, 5-0 at the start of this game. A killing spree for him, and he hasn't even seen what the death screen looks like.
How often do you see this against a team like FaZe, a killing spree to open it? Impressive stuff here in your opening 2 minutes of play.
Has a thrust in the back pocket as well. Should say, on the back of his spawn. But pressure now coming in from FaZe as the overshield fight starts again. A couple of seconds till that pops. And it was converted into the first flag cap here for Luminon, so they know the importance of securing this. And with 2 dead for FaZe, SLG should be able to pop.
Wow, beautifully done. They even had extra help. They didn't even need to use any of the thrust or anything. Just really good slaying control to get that overshield with really minimal effort. And now here comes the push.
FaZe turning up in the base. They're trying to find angles. They're trying to find a way to get some LOS, but with the overshield, Luminon can afford to force it. They can afford to take chances. 1 dead for FaZe. WuTum, by the way, 7-0. Still hasn't died in this game. And with an opening presenting itself, SLG's going to try and force this one. Can he round the corner? Well, now he's got time to do so because 2 of FaZe have just been taken down.
Beautifully done. He knew the pressure was coming. 3 dead here. He was getting naded, saw the nades coming pillars. He knew he had overshield. He didn't worry about it. He takes the round. He knew he had the timing. The team once again continues to slay. And just like that, Luminon Gaming 1 flag away from going up in the series. And luckily, they have not let that defeat in game number 2 get to them so far, but there's still work to be done. This game is not...
Oh, my God! SLG pulls the rabbit out of the hat. That is a ridiculous shot.
I cannot wait to watch that back. That is unbelievable from SLG. And as we said, they have not let game 2 impact them. Just absolutely connecting with every shot he takes.
You are seeing the best of SLG. Finally gets taken down. And at the moment, FaZe are probably thinking, oh, WuTum doesn't have sniper. Oh, good, it's SLG. Oh, it's SLG.
Probably also thinking, thank God we won that game number 2. And Luminon, no time to think about it, but they're also thinking, we really wish we won that game number 2.
Well, let's put this in perspective here. This hasn't been a situation that FaZe find themselves in for the first time in the series. They turned that previous game around from a similar situation where it felt like Luminon should have won it. And now with 3 dead, TriPPPeY's on the flank, has an option to run this flag. And with a sniper in his hands, will probably still make this work. Overshield for FaZe as well.
Like we said, not over yet. And even though Luminon looks good, we've said those words before, actually not too long ago, about 10 minutes ago, as FaZe runs what could be their first flag of the game.
Game of Halo was never won before the final objective went in. And there's still plenty of time to work with here. 7 minutes and 30 seconds left on that game clock. And with the flag going in here for FaZe, all of a sudden this game looks completely different. It's a one flag game.
Let's see if we can find SLG here. He finds the FaZe. TriPPPeY knew exactly where to put that reticle. 3 dead yet again for Luminon. And it feels like a little bit of deja vu, to say the very least.
WuTum having a little peek. TriPPPeY not able to connect this time around, just playing these lanes. As the rest of FaZe Clan start to move up on the map a little bit. Pznguin will find one to SLG. He knows something's up. He knows there's a WuTum around there somewhere. Glory just fell off the map though, which gives a free number here to FaZe.
Unfortunate there. And you're right, a really interesting mental game there between between WuTum and TriPPPeY there. TriPPPeY knew something was afoot. And he also knew the Glory had just spawned in the back of the base, takes him down. And now that's 2 dead. Here comes the push.
Gotta be peeking your corners there. That's just a free kill.
Oh,
and
boy.
that's the second free one. 4 dead for Luminon Gaming, and FaZe are starting to come to life again. Almost feels like they're giving Luminon the first part of the game, and then they're starting to take over.
This is a blender, folks. This is a Vitamix commercial edition blender that Luminon finds themselves in. Dear God, here comes the flag.
This is going to be the time. Flag, FaZe on the back foot no longer. They have taken over the last minute or so of this game, and we are now in the territory of next flag wins. 1-1 in the series, 2-2 in game 3, and Lucid has a snipe.
Talk about a tale of 2 different games. The first half of this game was a one-sided story, and you can absolutely see that the second side has also been a one-sided story, but very much a different team in the driver's seat. We're all tied up. Next flag will win.
Snipedrone finds one. However, SnakeBite just being a nuisance. Look at the damage output that's coming in from him. Lucid with that snipe finds one. Pznguin finds another. 2 dead for Luminon, and still trapped inside of their base. With SnakeBite on your hut, that's where you're going to continue to spawn as well.
Just tiptoes around all the mossy steps there. Looks like kind of late era Anakin Skywalker just running down, holding everything. Finally, we'll trade in the back of the base as well. 3 dead. Pznguin last player alive here for FaZe. And man, Luminon thinking, how did we let this happen yet again? But the game is not over just yet. Trade comes in.
So finally, Luminon do get a little bit of space on the map. 5 minutes left in this game. Next flag will win it.
5 minutes remaining.
SnakeBite being a nuisance in the back of the Luminon base. He's been alive for so long. 10-7 in this game at the moment. Glory will find the beatdown, but Death Nade will take him down. It's amazing how this game has just slowed down, that now that the snipers have gone out of play.
Brief 2v1 there. And also, yeah, you can just really feel how the game has changed. And what an amazing opening to see it just completely full speed ahead from both teams. SLG gonna try to win this one in the Magnum, not gonna be easy, but just full speed ahead, just pedal to the metal from both teams. And instead, what we've ended up now with this really slow, careful, methodical play, because both teams know that if you happen to forfeit a pick you shouldn't have, that's probably gonna be the game.
Also think Sniper's coming up soon, Overshield coming up soon. That has been where the caps have happened. So everybody is just so aware of not giving away free deaths at the moment, because that is the win condition. With one flag between the teams, or should I say next flag winning this game, getting one of those is going to be massive as that Overshield pops right now. It's going to the side of Luminon. The European team have the Overshield.
Here comes WuTum. He knows he needs to push. His Overshield melted off, but they do have the numbers on the push. It's going to be 2 dead, and they don't forfeit any deaths.
Pznguin's taking a little bit of damage as well, trying to force this one at the moment. Glory needs to get around the corner and just about manages to do so. Now keep your eyes on the feed. Every kill that goes down in the favor of Luminon could mean this game is over, but if they're phases, this run will slow, and that looks like what is happening.
They knew they had to drop and shoot. They're going to let everyone come back on the map, and they're going to focus here on this battle. Big 1v1 from Lucid.
Big from Lucid. He loses that. Luminon have the advantage, but he wins it. And now FaZe are thinking about a counter cap, not just this return.
Should be an easy return. He does get it, and leave it to Lucid to come down, right? 1v1 Rad Tunnel. Glory gets pinched, and even though it looked good on paper, the pull wasn't worth much without the supporting cast.
I mean, FaZe have done phenomenally well defensively there in that situation. Remember, that was all sparked by the Overshield being picked up by Luminon. They managed to counteract that. They get so much damage down that the Overshield gets melted.
Yeah.
And even though the flag got moving, yeah, I agree with you. I completely agree.
Yeah, I think Luminon rushed that because you heard the overshield pop. We were on SLG's POV top mid. You hear them pop the overshield, and they just held forward into the swamp. They could have maybe waited just an extra second. Even though they get the first 2 dead, they rushed the pull. Speaking of 2 dead, here's another pull, but on the other side.
Not again. Not like this, Luminon. FaZe again, leaving it late, making it interesting. Lucid has a snipe, and he's starting to hit bodies as well. Luminon are trapped in the base, and SnakeBite's finding kills. But there's someone.
Glory, last player.
Glory has to go massive here. But Pznguin puts his reticle exactly where it needs to be. SLG last alive. TriPPPeY's getting the kills. Lucid takes down SLG. And from 2-0 down, FaZe will take game number 3 and go up 2-1 in the series. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're getting it done.
The home team leaving it late, but getting it done. Games 2 and 3 playing out almost identical to one another. It is huge leads for Luminon off of very impressive play and convincing early and mid-game. However, they let both of them slip out of their hands. This easily could have been a Luminon 3-0 if we only watched the first half of these last 2 games. Instead, it's a FaZe 2-1 lead. What a series so far.
What a series. And I thought the psychology of the teams was weird after game number 1. Well, it's got a little bit more simple now. FaZe very happy with the comeback in that game. Luminon kicking themselves
Again.
even more violently than before, because that is a game where you can't let that happen. It's simple as that. Like, FaZe brilliant. When they went 2 down, they took over the game. The snipers started to go their way. But you look back on the overshield run for Luminon, that's the chance to win the game, right? And it goes wrong. They force it. They try and make it happen too quickly. And FaZe only need 1 chance to be brilliant.
Remember, WuTum was 7-0, by the way,
Yep.
to start this game. Glory also pulls off this run while the team just continues to slay. And inside of, by the way, 1 minute and 2 seconds, the first cap goes in. WuTum then did all of this. Just unable to be taken down. They keep winning the overshield battles as well. Oftentimes it looked like making it look easy. They wait and bait on this run. It's perfectly executed. But hopefully you didn't place any bets at this stage. Even though you might have been tempted.
You feel like,
Look at this.
it's just through the foliage. I feel like Luminon have won 90% of game 2 and game 3, but lost the last 10, which has cost them. It's been such a strange
And then TriPPPeY just went off.
couple of games. FaZe's resilience is incredible.
Yep.
Unbelievable late games from them, just to stay in it, just mentally to stay in it, to pull this off.
And that's what it takes, right? You talk about, this was the, I mean, rush in so many ways. And yes, Glory might round the corner, but I think everyone knew that it was going to be a tough road home. And
This
this
1v1 as well.
was huge from Lucid. Man, if Lucid loses that, and of course, equally, if Glory wins that, it's a completely different fight.
Completely different game potentially as well. And then Pznguin,
Look at the patience.
you've got to
of
say,
Pznguin on
yeah,
that one.
great patience. That's, when we talk about knowing how to play an objective, that's a great example of it. You can touch that flag, but then you've got to make yourself difficult, wait for the help, and wait until those shields come back before you can start running it again. FaZe sounding pretty calm,
I was
pretty
gonna say,
composed.
listen to the comms there once again. These are guys who have been here before, and even though on screen it looks dramatic, and it has been, for these guys, this is just another day at the office, and I think we are rightfully freaking out here as we're watching this series, but for them, it's just been about late game composure, and my God, have they ever done it? This has been an amazing series, and just when you thought you knew where results were gonna go in the HCS, and maybe things had settled down after Salt Lake, Pool C showing us that there's a lot of exciting Halo yet to be played with upset potential, but so far only 1 of the 3 games has had an upset delivered. It's FaZe Clan that bounces back late game. 2 enormous comebacks in games 2 and 3, and they will look to close it out here on Nutribomb Aquarius.
Will we see a game 5, or will FaZe use the momentum of those 2 comeback wins in game 2 and 3 to close out here on Aquarius Assault? This is where we find ourselves here for game 4. And I gotta say, map-wise, what we've been playing has been the smallest arena maps for the entirety of this. The action has been non-stop.
You called it when we first...
It's been a great series.
It's been amazing. You called it when we first saw the series layout. This is going to be an absolute kind of just non-stop pedal-down series speed-wise, and it's delivered. It's been amazing.
The opening rush, majority of the fights are won here by Luminon. But honestly, for them, it's not really about how the game starts or the middle goes. It's about how it ends. As we've learned very harshly, and they would have learned very harshly in that game 2 and 3. WuTum has the camo. Bomb is moving here.
Cam will be traded out. 3 dead. Glory is going to be your last player alive here on the map. They're going to know exactly where he is.
TriPPPeY's moving that bomb through the gen already for FaZe, so they've got a lot of map advantage. Usually where that bomb is on the map gives you a good indication of what percentage of the map is being controlled by a team. The FaZe, in that circumstance, controlled about 75% of the map, but now that they're losing these fights, that's going to change very quickly. Snipedrone has that bomb in his hands. Lucid will find one just to make it a little bit more awkward for him, and even more so because Lucid, he's a difficult kill, this chap.
Finally taken down, but he does buy the team at least just a solid about 3 seconds there, which is huge on this map, because here comes the gen push.
Already up the map. Like you say, it's a great example of just staying alive 3 seconds. The rest of your teammates are now in the gen, putting pressure on that bomb.
And right, and even though they lost it again, let's not forget, guess what? Lucid's already up now. Now he stops the gen push, and they have to reset entirely. So really it is a domino effect like you alluded to earlier. Just staying alive a few extra seconds, especially on Assault specifically, is going to buy you a lot of time and a lot of options off of the spawn.
Bomb starting to progress towards the FaZe side of the map now with 3 dead. FaZe got to be careful here. Bomb is in the base. Spawners are putting pressure on though. But the arm is going down. It's 2 dead on the side of FaZe. And Luminon get out to a great start again here in game number 4. They get the first arm. The first point is on the board.
I've never been equally so excited about a team playing so well and then so worried by taking
about what's happening
an
next.
Early lead. It's almost, how do you win these, right? What do you need to do? That's the question ahead of Luminon Gaming. But jokes aside, 4 dead. They're playing very well. They're going to look to get a second arm here. But that also makes me worried because of the last game. We're going to just have to see how this plays out.
Never have I been more terrified about a team winning games of Halo than what we're seeing right now, but they are doing a great job of slaying and putting the pressure onto FaZe when the gen spawn comes in, which gives a line of sight. 2 dead for FaZe once more, though. Last 2 players are in the back of the base. That's such an important toss of the bomb out, though. If that doesn't happen, Snipedrone's probably planted this one.
Big toss. Snipedrone's in trouble. He gets 2v1 eagle-eyed.
He was like, oh, come on. You can just, you know, you've been in that situation before. You know how it feels, and it's not good. FaZe do a really good job, though, defensively there, to get that bomb out. It looked like we were going to see a double plant coming in.
So speaking psychologically, I think Luminon has had now kind of 2 games where they've let it go, and they have enough experience where I think they're going to realize the opportunity ahead of them here, right? They cannot allow this to happen a 3rd time in this series. They've got a 1-bomb lead. They need to continue to play their game through the entirety of this game, whether we go to time or not.
Well, let me tell you this. If they go 2-1 up and FaZe score next, their mental game is going to be the equivalent of throwing a brick in a washing machine. It's going to be an absolute mess. Double kill here for Pznguin in the gen. FaZe do have that bomb halfway up the map now, so a little bit of map control finally being gathered.
Have you thrown a brick in a washing machine?
Have you seen it before? Search it on YouTube. It's awesome.
I believe it. I've known you long enough to not doubt
that. That's the kind of thing that's in my search history.
and also that you would absolutely do. 4 minutes into the game, and it's still a Luminon 1-0 lead. 2 dead here for FaZe momentarily, and Luminon with a sneaky arm here.
Oh, they've got the angles here. WuTum! Luminon are up 2 again.
It's a weird place for us to be. Normally,
what happens next?
We don't know anymore. If we want to use history as an indicator of future results, always dangerous, by the way, not financial advice, it could be risky to say that Luminon has the upper hand in this game. 2v1 comes in. That's going to flush out Snipedrone, but as we said, Luminon playing very, very well yet again. Take a look at the numbers. I mean, this is a wild story being told. They are outslaying heavily. 11 and 6 for WuTum, now 7. Same stat line for Snipedrone. And now they continue to apply their pressure. Everyone here on the other side is going to be negative in this game so far. Can they keep it up? One job ahead of them to close out this game. They just need one more arm, and they're looking good the way they're doing it.
If you were looking at the markets right now, it'll be the first time in history that a team has increased their lead and their odds of winning have gone down.
Plummeting, by the way, off that second arm.
2 dead for Luminon. Camo going over to the side of FaZe, and finally, what feels like the first time in about 3 or 4 minutes, FaZe have made an advance onto the Luminon side of the map. The bomb is going in. They have Camo.
Here's the push. They have 2 players here. SLG goes for a hero toss, and he does get it. And he buys just a little bit of time for the team. 3 dead, SLG is last player alive, top mid, and needs to stay alive.
Does so. Long enough for the rest of Luminon to spawn on the map here. Lucid does get that kill. But that bomb is down in the front of the base. That was such an important toss out. Without that, this game is undoubtedly 2-1.
Yeah, huge toss. And a great last-ditch effort. 2v2 on the map here. Penguin still with Camo.
Bomb taken.
Penguin's still in the base. Still just looking to be behind these spawners and keep them pinned into either those gen spawns or those fridge spawns. Finally, he's taken down. Good job from Luminon to flush him out finally.
And I think if you're on the side of Luminon, now that this is the first time also that they've had this lead and this much of a slaying lead. I think they need to just continue to play their game, not get panicked, look for map control, advance the bomb when it makes sense, but not find themselves on the back foot. It's a 2-bomb cushion yet again. They've got all the pieces they need to force a game number 5, but there are 6 minutes left of FaZe aggression.
It's the longest 6 minutes of Luminon's life at the moment. 2 dead on either side. Snipedrone will fall though, that's 3 dead. Glory last player alive, and that bomb, smartly, is being thrown towards the FaZe side of the map, which means they have to go back, give up a little bit of map control to collect it.
3 dead here. Snipedrone going to be your last player alive. He's in the back base. He will be shot right away, so Glory's going to spawn as well. Might even be fridge spawns coming off of this pressure.
Has to be fridge spawns at this point. Glory's now wrapping back in. You can see the fridge spawns happening in front of Pznguin. He's just waiting for these nades to come in from top middle. Glory has to extend. Pznguin will find 1. In the back of the base, he'll find 2. And even though he's taking damage, TriPPPeY is there trying to arm this bomb. SLG trying to be the hero. He finds 1, and elsewhere he actually found 2.
Huge.
As SnakeBite finds himself last alive, SLG was the hero for Luminon.
He was the hero, and I'm surprised to get away with it because Glory essentially gives away a free first death by poking stairs without the appropriate support. They didn't have the angles they needed to watch him. He gets taken down, and somehow from a 3v4, they fight out. And that buys them 1 minute of time. There is approximately minimum 5 FaZe pushes left that they will need shut down, and they do it for the second as well. That's 3 dead for FaZe.
Camo's coming up as well. WuTum stays alive, Pznguin no shields, WuTum no shields. And Glory gets that kill. TriPPPeY and Lucid overextended on the P side to try and battle for this power-up, but WuTum doing a great job at the moment, just putting down so much suppressing fire, but the rest of his team just not in position at the moment, it feels like, to clean up this damage. Bomb is down on the gen. Luminon do have the opportunity to progress this towards the FaZe base as they overextend.
Nicely done. You will at least get the touch there. That is, you're asking for quite a melee lunge.
I've seen a few of those.
I've seen some lunges.
I've seen a few of those swings,
but I don't know.
Local establishments.
Oh no! Lucid shuts him down. What a kill! Snipedrone will fall in a battle where he certainly should have won it and had the upper hand. I shouldn't say things like that. I don't want to jinx it. 3:58 left on the clock. They've fought off another minute of FaZe pushes. We're taking this 1 minute at a time, Mark.
Taking it 1 second at a time. Bomb is down around the midway mark. SnakeBite scarpering away from... Oh, please kill him. Oh, finally gets that kill.
They're looking for big lunges here.
Snipedrone progresses forward towards the gen. Bomb is resetting down bottom middle, so completely at the halfway mark. Snipedrone flying forward, trying to capitalize on damage. The damage inside of the FaZe base is fine because it means that bomb is nowhere near theirs.
By the way, oh, it's a good trade coming in there. WuTum will be taken down, but TriPPPeY really wins that in the trade column. By the way, SLG 21-13, trying to drag this team into game number 5. He knows how much is on the line. Here comes SnakeBite with 3 minutes left.
It's 2 dead momentarily for Luminon. SLG on the overextend is trying to drag attention away.
He does it, and he does it.
Those are the kind of plays that you don't see in stats, but it's just allowed his team to get up the map. And now Snipedrone can wrap back, knowing that the numbers and the damage is on his side. Finds 1, that bomb's moving again for Luminon towards that FaZe gen.
Really nicely done, good composure. As you said, SLG shooting just long enough to make sure the player wrapping bottom middle would be able to get that back whack, and off of that they're able to stack even a few more kills and a very good gen presence here. Still 2 dead, maybe even 3. Cannot clean up Lucid just yet. There will be 3 dead, excuse me, not 4 dead. Lucid will stay alive and spawners will be back base. Luckily, also now going to be fridge spawners as well.
Penguins one in the back of the base initially, just to give him a little bit of extra protection. That's why you saw Lucid being happier to challenge.
Yeah.
But the camo's just been picked up by Luminon. I heard it,
Objective income.
but where it's gone and to who it's gone is a different question altogether.
Objective ready.
Still 2 dead, still a man advantage here. Now going to be 2v2 on the map. 2 minutes left, checking in each minute at a time. It's another minute fended off, and now the 2-minute warning. Luminon looking good, but we're not going to jinx it here, folks. Still 2 minutes to play.
Big win from WuTum onto Pznguin. Bomb is still in a neutral position around the 50-yard line. WuTum outputting damage, helps his teammate out, continuing to output damage onto numerous members of FaZe. As FaZe now start to be forced to move that bomb. Pznguin gets a touch. Snipedrone collapses on the damage in from Glory. 2 dead for FaZe, numbers for Luminon.
I'd even think about just advancing this. I like the play. I like that play. Just buy a little bit of time when there's only 119 on the clock. Just a little bit of a toss is going to buy you a little bit of extra space.
Just turns the heads around of FaZe, right? If they get past it, they get on your side of the map. FaZe have to keep an eye on that bomb. When it's down P1, it's very nadeable from spawners. But TriPPPeY now brings it towards the front of the base. 2 dead for Luminon, 2 dead for FaZe. TriPPPeY with no shields has to survive here.
And he knows that he has to be bringing this fast, and that's why it has to take high-risk plays going front base, and takes a lot of damage in doing so.
WuTum finds one. Snipedrone finds another inside of the gen. Big fights being won here by Luminon. And with less than 1 minute to go, we will now start taking it from minutes to seconds for Luminon to survive.
Good damage from SLG, not just damage, but picks. We'll see what the spawners can do with the stop here on SnakeBite.
SnakeBite can't plant because he's got no shields. It takes 1 bullet, and he's taken down. And now that bomb's going to be thrown out again. So another couple of seconds trickle past here for Luminon. And WuTum with a big win in the back of the base. And another kill inside of his base. And with SLG last alive, even if this bomb does get armed, I think...
What an aim.
10 seconds.
I think we can call it here. We're going towards a game 5.
I'm going to let you make the call. 3 seconds here on the clock.
Bomb's going to be thrown out by Luminon. Time does elapse. The markets collapse. And Luminon will hold on and take game number 4 here. We are going to game 5 in one of the most obscure feeling series that we've ever casted.
Truly, what a game, and it's a very different story. Luckily for the side of Luminon and Luminon fans and fans across Europe, it is not a story of a third deja vu. Instead, it is a very strong opening and mid-game and late game, we can now say. From Luminon, I wasn't dare going to utter those words anywhere near the end of the game. But they will force us now into a game number 5, and I'm not going to lie, it feels like this series deserves it.
I think it was the only resolution, to be honest with you.
It was always going to go this way.
Somewhere or other, we were going to get to a game 5 as we take a look at these statistics from the players on your screen. And yeah, SLG, 27 and 17 from him. And we have always said, whatever team SLG has been on throughout Halo Infinite, if he has a big game, or he even has a game where he's +5 or 6, usually his team will win.
Amazing stuff, and it feels like SLG. You could just look at the way he played that game and the stat line. It feels like games 2 and 3, right? The energy that would have come out of that, and the psychology that would have come out of that. He brought that into game number 4, which is special to see from a player like SLG, a player who wants it so bad, and who's been doing this for so long, and who's been up against the big 3 on the main stage for so many matches of his career. You could tell he wanted to force this to a game 5 without a doubt, and he did everything he could to make sure they got there.
Yeah, I want to give a little bit of a highlight as well. I think it was SnakeBite and Glory, respectively, on their teams. A huge amount of assists compared to the other 6 players in the lobby. So even though you look at the KD, might not look great, the damage output's still there for other teammates to work upon. I gotta say, I love the aggression. It's really interesting to see the aggression and, I would say, composure shown by Luminon in the start of that game. Because when you've lost 2 Heartbreakers, it's so easy to come in flat.
Oh, yeah.
And you lose the first couple of fights. The bomb goes against you. You find yourself down 0-1, and I'll be honest with you, this series is chalked at that point. Like, it's so difficult to get your head back into it. But to come out, show some resilience, show some steel, and show that this series isn't going to be the story of Luminon throwing away games. They want to still prove that they can take down FaZe. You've got to give them credit for how they came out at the start of this game, and the start was pretty much what saw them through.
I agree. And look at this series layout you have ahead of you. I mean, it's been an unbelievable series so far. It's like we haven't been able to exactly figure out how we should feel following each game or how either team.
I don't know how I feel, just emotional.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't know how, but like.
Man, and for the side of Luminon, with the resilience we just saw, you can hope they're going to bring that into a clean slate and a blank canvas for Game 5. But you know there is at least 1%, if not more, thinking, God, if we could have just closed out games we were leading by enormous margins in Game 2 or 3, we would be off on our break right now, having taken down one of the best teams in the league on an upset. However, that is not how this played out. Instead, we get to see a 5th and final game between these two teams.
And as, you know, excuse the pun for Pznguin, as zany as this series has been, Luminon still have come up short historically against FaZe, right?
Yeah.
You could say that this could be one of the biggest results if Luminon pulled this off to beat FaZe. And remember, Cloud9 just beat Luminon, so FaZe has got to worry. FaZe have got to start to worry about that series coming up and progressing through pools in the ways that they would want to with the seed that they have coming into this event. A lot riding on this Game 5 for both teams. Can finally Luminon beat FaZe, which is something that they haven't been able to do? Or will FaZe find themselves in a situation where, you know, they overwin this series and it's all business as usual, or they start to worry about the pool in general?
Couldn't agree more. And we said there was a lot riding on this series in terms of the ceilings and the stories of these two teams. Now it feels like with how it's played out and with a 5th and final game, there is so much riding here, right? What does Luminon put together for a late season run? And what is FaZe's story, right? Are these pool wobbles? Are they instead of finding late game resilience they should be proud of? If they lose this series, what does it mean for the bracket? I mean, there's so many questions that emerge depending on the way that this one goes. I think if FaZe wins it, as I said earlier, it still could become, I think now, a footnote because of the way it's played. But if Luminon takes this throws things completely into a whole new dynamic.
You're looking at some of the top performers in the kills department on their respective teams for this series, and if you're going to pick two at the start of the series, you probably pick these two. Lucid and Snipedrone, the two main slayers for their team. 82 kills for Lucid, 73 on the side of Snipedrone. Damage and the KD slightly better on the side of Lucid, but when it comes to games, it's split right down the middle between these two squads.
I gotta say also, with the way that Luminon's won their 2 games, they were actually really comfortable in the end. It's interesting how as soon as things get dicey in the late game, they seem to fall apart, and it seems like FaZe puts together all the pieces. You gotta get the feeling that if FaZe had gotten 1 bomb on the board, things could have played differently. So it just feels like, and it makes sense, right? There's a lot of veteran late game composure on the side of the FaZe, so if you're Luminon here, you need to keep a kill cushion, I think. You need to have a 4+ kill cushion throughout this game. Don't let FaZe get back in within breathing room, because if they do so, what we've learned this series, I think, is that FaZe has the ice. And Luminon instead needs to find early control and then roll with that momentum. If things get close, it feels like the nerves are getting involved for sure.
Yeah, Luminon have the talent, FaZe have the ice. That's been the series. And I will say, in that last game, if it would have gone to 2-1, I think there would have been a lot of local medical professionals getting phone calls over in Europe for increased heart rates. Because that would have been a very, very scary way for everybody on the other side of the pond to watch how that game would progress. But, I mean, I think for everything that's happened so far, we now find ourselves in a shootout, right? It's one game. It's a Slayer game, of course, to see where this series ends up going and who gets this victory. And Solitude is going to be the battleground.
And interestingly, we didn't get to talk about it beforehand because we didn't know if it was going to go here. But the first 4 game types, as we said, very fast-paced game types. They are just kind of non-stop action across those first 4. Solitude Slayer being game 5 is interesting because it is a different, in terms of a gameplay dynamic, it plays differently. There are going to be times where it has to slow down, and there are going to be times where you have to flush out and collapse on damage, which is going to be a bit different than what we have seen so far. If you think of the game types we've seen, kind of plays pretty similar to the way that CTF should play, right? You need to know when to push and know when to slow down. So Luminon going to have to make sure that they find that mix, that right gameplay to maintain, as we said, a lead here.
And I think every single player on the main stage right now is just looking at their teammates and probably thinking, just win your ones. Win your ones.
Yes.
Do not let yourself lose a battle that you should be winning, and let the momentum go to the other side. Don't let the other side of the stage get fired up like we are as we're heading into game number 5. This has been an incredible series for a number of reasons. And now it's time for it to get to its conclusion.
I think one of the series that we were excited about this weekend, but I don't think anyone knew that it would, actually I'm positive that no one knew that it would go quite this way and the way that it has gone down. And it always needed a game number 5. We were always headed here based on the way that these games have gone. As we said, one of the most bizarre series in terms of back and forth we've ever seen in Halo Infinite, and how fitting to find it here at your last major. We're underway in game number 5, FaZe Clan versus Luminon.
That's 3-1 to Luminon, so they should have a free camo as well, and we know how important that camo is. Shock rifle's still up, nobody able to get their hands on it, but it's a fantastic start from the Europeans here.
Oh boy, look at Snipedrone. He needs to slow play this. He's got so much opportunity here.
Oh, this is a target-rich environment.
They don't know, they don't know. Oh my god.
TriPPPeY spotted him. TriPPPeY spotted him. It's a brilliant play from TriPPPeY.
Oh my god.
And now it's 4-4 and Shock Rifle in the hands of FaZe. You thought you saw it all in this series. Well, you haven't.
I was gonna say I'm gonna need a minute, but I don't have that luxury. My job is to keep talking about what you're seeing on screen here. 6-4 off the 4-1 break. And what could have been a very easy collapse with 2 or 3 dead minimum. Instead, no trades come in. TriPPPeY eagle eyes, or maybe even probably gets a footstep audio there. The camo, and shuts it down. And there must have been amazing comms coming in from the FaZe side as well to be aware that camo was going to be around. And the question was, is the camo in the room with us right now? It was coming from inside the house. And now we're tied 7-7, unbelievable.
I think of all of the players, only TriPPPeY felt something wasn't right. You can see by the way he sort of was just moving his reticle a little bit, moving that Spartan around. And what was a huge opportunity for Luminon is squandered in that moment. But once again, now they're showing some resilience. Snipedrone has got himself the shock rifle, and Luminon have themselves a 3-kill advantage.
What a way to open. A wild series of events here. As you said, Luminon once again finding resilience to make sure they are still leading here at 10-7, 4v4 on the map.
15 seconds till camo coming up as well. That's why you're seeing the game slow down to a snail's pace. And SnakeBite's going to get that first pick. Snipedrone wants to finish this kill off. They want to keep the pressure on. They want to make sure that they get their trades when they have to. Lucid's bottom middle, taking down no shields. Glory should get that kill. SLG will find one. It's 3 dead here for FaZe. Lucid down to no shields, and SLG says, my turn with the camo. It's 2 in a row now for Luminon.
I like this play from SLG. He doesn't go to finish Lucid. Instead, he just gets camo. He's happy to just come away with camo and now try to extend this lead. They're still up by 3.
FaZe aren't moving. And SLG's anxiety will be going through the roof right now, not being able to find targets, knowing the FaZe are trying to hunt him down. He's trying to get FaZe to move, to turn their attention. And by doing so, now can make himself a little bit more of a difficult target. SnakeBite takes damage, does have some support, but that's going to be the shock rifle here. Pznguin challenges as well. SLG being active with this camo, 14-12 the score.
Yeah, really nicely done. 2 dead. Connects as well for additional damage in blue, and now they lead by 4. It required patient play and very specific strategy there, and it works.
And it required a lot of bravery as well to fire those shots in, to know that you could be a target and give back yourself in your ability to escape from that situation. SLG, the vocal leader for this team, making the biggest play of the game we've seen so far.
The player who put his team on his back in game number 4, as we said, unbelievable numbers to make sure that they sent this to a game 5, and they convert again. 18-13 now.
SLG wants to move in and collapse on this damage, but now he's going to have to try and stay alive. SnakeBite with a brilliant prediction grenade. And even though FaZe were trapped, even though FaZe felt like they were being squashed inside a blue, they managed to survive long enough to at least get these trades.
19-16 here, 20-16. It's a perfect point at the mid-game. It's Luminon in the lead. Let's get into a listen in here with Luminon Gaming.
Yeah, LR still, and Jan. You gotta play for 2, we need a...
I go on.
Nice. 2 LR.
He's gonna have free shutter shock.
I spawn. I'm gonna go sit up for this.
Yeah, shot going LR. There's 2 LR.
LR weak Pznguin. They might play for me,
gonna go S2.
One shot drive away, Pznguin.
Yo,
And once.
Luke.
Yeah, Luke weak. Two guys weak.
Gold, I'm walking gold.
They're all
One
trapped.
get
They're more in
posters,
10.
posters.
Yeah, we need to spin.
Yeah.
One shot, weak
Top
last.
gold, top gold. Absolute top gold. Absolute
Luke,
yard.
Luke.
Yeah, I'm dead. I'm a loop. Look dead, look dead.
Nice.
Yo, watch your yard, watch your
Tell
yard.
him, tell him.
And
Come on.
yard.
Help me for come
That
on.
was sniping.
Okay,
That was
I'm looking at L, I'm looking at
Can't see
L.
flares.
sniping. Yard,
Come on.
yard.
Flanking,
I'm
flanking.
going L.
Come on,
Watch out,
L dead.
Top gold, weak out.
S2 kill me, S2 kill me.
Watch the buckets.
S2 as well.
Watch the buckets.
Can be
Watch.
posters.
Dead.
Yeah, posters.
Shots. Posters weak.
I spawn.
It's
I
LR,
spawn yard.
LR.
I'm trying to kill her, I'm looking at
Hey,
her.
I'm not
Yeah, all dead.
Cindy on me.
S2
Cindy.
LR.
Cindy.
One to 10.
Cindy 2 shot.
Traded.
One was the tail. Okay, I have no shock.
I spawn yard. There could be a loop on me.
Stay blue.
Cross this drop, Cine.
Circle. One to
Spawn
crouching.
LR.
I can walk benches.
S2 twice, SnakeBite. 2 S2, 2 S2.
Yeah, one's bottom mid, one's point wall. One stone.
Two weak benches, guys. And why don't kill me? Two weak benches.
He's posters, 2 shot. I'm on blue chalk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
Cine pushing loop. They're pushing loop.
Okay. I'm going LR on that.
Watch out, loop.
I'm 2 loop.
One, two loop.
Drive away to yard as well.
Okay,
Yo, shocking.
I'm out goal.
Shocking 5.
Watch your driveway, Pznguin.
Two there, three there.
Okay, I'm top goal.
One's in yard.
Hit.
LR, I'm
Device.
Let's face Luke.
In blue.
I'm looking blue. Let's look blue.
Chippy in blue.
Yeah, they saw me.
And twice.
I'm facing Luke.
Kill soda.
Watch it up,
Watch
go.
it soda for you.
Weak top goal. I'm gonna die.
Alarm, Mike.
Watch top goal. I'm gonna die.
LR weak.
Top gold.
LR weak. Pznguin.
And blue beer. I'm resting snipe. Weak blue beer.
Watch out, blue truck.
Watch out blue check.
I'm going blue.
And shock bags. Two blue check. One
one
shot.
there.
He's one shot stone with shock.
They should all be there.
He's going blue and blue shock.
Yeah, blue ramp. And 2 S2. He's big.
Okay, he's weak in blue. Absolute blue ramp.
Deep.
Good. 2 S2. I'm dead.
I'm leading it.
Let's leave
I'm
him.
not pushing. Yeah.
I'm leaving.
I'm backing out.
I have blue.
Yeah, two. On me.
Watch out, Cindy. 2 1 shots. I'm on posters. 3 weeks, Cindy.
I'm on.
I'm in blue.
Yo, post is still weak.
Watch out, posters.
City weak.
Oh my word, the nerves you can feel, the aggression on the side of FaZe to try and get out of these spawns. They've taken so much damage. And Pznguin is the last alive on the team. Lucid's off the respawn. Pznguin's still alive momentarily, but he will go down. And we are seeing now one of the biggest leads of the game, and it's Luminon who have it.
And it's just like we talked about, Luminon needed to maintain the 3 to 4 kill cushion throughout the game. That was always going to be their key to success as we've seen through this series, and they have continued to do it. Now here, still up by 6.
Well, they've been in this position before, and FaZe have been in this position before in this series. And they've somehow, out of nowhere, when they've had no right to, found a win. 37-32, the cushion is still there.
I almost don't even want to speak about it. But as you say, FaZe still within striking distance, and now only trailing by 4, 37-33.
Glory gets an important kill. Camo gets picked up by Snipedrone, and I think the most important thing here for Luminon is not that it's burnt, it's the fact that FaZe didn't get it.
Yeah.
Keep it out of their hands. But now, it's a 3-kill game.
Important kill there comes in. TriPPPeY falls.
Oh
Keeping
my
it
word.
within 4. Unbelievable game in an unbelievable series between North America and Europe. 4 kills still separate them here.
Luminon a little bit trapped here.
Oh my word.
2 players try and push out. They get the kill, they get the trade onto Lucid. That slows things down momentarily, but SnakeBite will find one. Snipedrone with good damage, but not teammates alongside him to clean it up. And now he'll fall as well. It's a 1-kill game. FaZe are backing in again.
We don't even need to say it. Unbelievable series of events. Luminon forfeits what was
Tie
just
game.
a 7-kill lead. They have lost the lead. FaZe goes into the lead in the late game.
3 dead for Luminon. WuTum's gonna lift up. Pznguin knows where he is, but where are the rest of the spawners?
SnakeBite's there.
SnakeBite's found one. Glory gets the trade. It's a 1-kill game still between these two.
You thought it was nervy earlier. Now it is nervy, 44-33. With so much riding on this series between these two teams, and SnakeBite is the man with the shot.
Snipedrone gets clipped. 2 dead on either side at the moment. And a man who has been in this position more than anyone on this main stage has the game in his hands. Oh my SnakeBite!
The confidence, the composure, hits another shot as well.
Glory gets the kill somehow there. It's 48-46, still shock rifle to play with here.
Not over just yet, but a very, very important
SLG gets one.
48-47, one-kill game here. SnakeBite is 21-10 in a one-kill game.
Tags SLG twice, but not enough to secure the kill. Camo's coming up. You've got to be brave to go for that one.
Here he comes.
SnakeBite repositioning smartly here, trying to take a different angle. Camo pops.
TriPPPeY anchors, make sure Blue's
Snipedrone
clear.
challenges. Glory gets a kill. It's 48-48. And the shock rifle has just one shot.
WuTum stays alive. Here comes the push.
SnakeBite gets it. It's a frenzy for SnakeBite, but is it going to be enough? One kill is all that FaZe need
Here he comes.
to close it out. The frenzy and the 2 kills at the end for SnakeBite. There is a reason this man has won championships, has won world championships. And it's because he has composure that many dream they had.
You've got to be kidding me.
I can't believe that
SnakeBite goes
series.
23-10 in a 50-48. Absolutely unbelievable. More than double positive in the Slayer, nearly half the kills of his team. To close out a 50-48 and walks in himself into Yard and finds the kills to close out the series. And what I will say is one of the most unforgettable pool play series of Halo Infinite.
Cannot argue with it. Have no notes.
There is so much to talk about in those games, in that series, what it meant for both of those teams, what the result means. And the desk is going to have a lot of fun with that one, let me tell you. That is ripe for a whole lot of breakdowns. And I would say, on top of all of that, at the highest level, it was simply one of the most fun and wild series of Halo I can remember in a long time.
FaZe will take the spoils. They will win the series. But I think you could have heard the collective noise of foreheads hitting desks over in Europe who were watching that series. I mean, again, that's 3 games in that series that Luminon have. They felt like they've won. And somehow they find themselves losing the series in a Game 5. FaZe with brilliance in the late game. I mean, that was a journey, man. That was an absolute journey.
We've all been on this together. You and I together, everyone watching at home. I bet you're just as glad as we are that we got to see that series. And it was the same story, Mark. You called it perfectly. It is a team with ice versus a team that didn't have the late game ice. And for FaZe to be down by 7 in that Slayer as well, and then bring it back, I mean, that is wild. I think it shouldn't require this from FaZe, but it is so special that they're able to pull that out. And I think a lot of momentum for them. There's a lot to look at, but they're going to be able to move on in pool play, realizing, okay, we got by this series. Let's refocus for the weekend, but most importantly, they get the job done, they get the win.
Yeah, I think when you're looking at teams, you're looking at championship potential, there's certain things that you call intangibles, right? You can't really summarize, you can't really work on in VOD. It's things like what we just saw from FaZe. Late game brilliance. It is icing up. It's thinking you're never out of a series when it is so tight. And SnakeBite showing the intangibles in that final game, a phenomenal, otherworldly performance in that game number 5. And we can do everything we can to summarize it, but it's probably best to hear it from the Snake's mouth itself. So let's head over to the main stage right now. SnakeBite is with us for an interview.